my name is Mukta, and I'm VP of Thought Leadership at WarnerMedia. I'm so excited to share our latest research with you all. When we embarked on this study, what we wanted to do was uncover what was fundamentally changing for consumers since the pandemic and how those lasting mindset shifts would evolve the way they lived and approached their lives. Before we start, I want to take a quick moment to share our approach. So we launched 2 studies. In the first, we surveyed 1,013 to 54-year-olds to explore fast-moving mindset shifts. In the second, we dug deeper into certain rising sentiments and conducted a quant and qual study serving Gen Zs and millennials who are setting many of the trends that we uncovered. So, if there is one universal truth that has emerged from the pandemic, it's that 2020 broke time, and it's still breaking time in 2022. It's only been 2 years since the pandemic started, and it feels like our pre-pandemic lives were eons ago. Consumers are feeling that everything and nothing at all has happened since the pandemic. I love this social post on the right here. It says, is it just me, or has 2020 and 2021 actually been a blur? Pandemic memory decay is real. Sadly, no one is talking about it. And we really saw that time blur at the start of the pandemic. We couldn't keep track of time. We didn't know if it was today or yesterday, whether we were in small weekend or big weekend. Instead of talking about the weather, we were asking each other what month we were in, and we still are. So time is speeding up as quickly as it's slowing down. But this new relationship with time has opened us up to something else. We have started to reevaluate what is essential and what is most important to us. So this quote here from a millennial woman in Pennsylvania sums up this sentiment perfectly. With so much time on my hands, I realized how much time I was wasting on the things that really were not that important. And this sentiment is starkly different from how we were pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, it was all about the hustle. We glorified overpacked schedules, and feeling fatigue was sort of this badge of honor. We were pushing our energy outwards into so many things, and we kept at it until we burned out. But what the pandemic allowed us to do was take a break in time to focus inwards and on fewer things. And we had time to reset. We didn't have FOMO anymore, and we got really clear on the things that matter to us. And we actually started to feel different. And that is because we are forming new habits and renouncing old ones. And we are reimagining new ways of being. So some are taking subtle updates to their lives, whether that's reading more or gardening or adding a self-care practice to their daily routine. And others are making big life changes, like moving across the country or investing their retirement savings into crypto or NFTs, or leaving their jobs as we're still experiencing waves of the Great Resignation era. But these big and small decisions are not being made in haste. Rather, they are really, really intentional. And that brings us to the theme and the macro trend of this report. That thoughtfulness and that mindfulness and that pause before acting is what we call intentionalism. So as the world starts to gain back that momentum again, intentionalism makes us slow down and turn off our autopilot tendencies so we can act with purpose and make mindful decisions. In fact, 71% of consumers say they are more thoughtful in their decision-making process since the start of the pandemic. And they're more thoughtful about everything from the money they save, to who they spend their time with, to the food they eat, to the entertainment they watch. And living with this new intentionality in their lives is creating space for consumers to do what they love. The number one way consumers want to spend their time post-pandemic ahead of even personal care and relationship building is with entertainment. During the pandemic, the relationship between entertainment and audiences deepened. When our lives were flipped upside down, our favorite shows and movies came to the rescue. So 85% felt that entertainment saved them in the pandemic. As consumers are reevaluating what matters the most, they are embracing content not only as a welcome distraction, but also a form of refuge and a necessary self-care practice. So this connection to entertainment is also leading consumers to live this streaming life, right? So streaming is fully integrated into consumers' daily routine as they stream content for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when looking at their go-to entertainment source by day part, social media has a slight edge to streaming during the day, a time when consumers are likely multitasking with family needs or working or commuting. In the evening, on the other hand, when distractions of the day are gone, streaming is the #1 go-to source of entertainment, chosen twice as often as social media. And they're also watching everywhere. So streaming is at the heart of their homes, with almost all respondents saying they streamed content in home in the last year. But the living room is not the only place they are streaming. They are taking their favorite shows with them into the bedroom, to the kitchen, even the garage. And not surprisingly, they're also taking their streaming comforts outside the home. So over 3 in 4 reported to take their content outside of the home. But while consumers are streaming all day and all the time, and enjoying all of the options they have, they are also carrying that intentionality into deciding what they watch. 83% said that they are becoming more selective with the entertainment they stream. And this presents a unique problem, what we call the paradox of intentional viewing. So as we heard from one of our panelists in Kentucky, I don't want to feel like I've wasted my time. I want to feel like I've gained something when watching entertainment. So as the lives of consumers get busier, they want to make sure that the entertainment they watch adds to their lives in some way. In our research, we dug deeper to understand what intentions audiences were setting with what they watched. And we uncovered 4 intentions audiences set. They stream to boost their mood, to create time markers, to explore identity, and to foster growth. And these intentions are fluid and they overlap. So audiences are often straddling a few of these at once. And that's because consumers are looking for entertainment that is intersectional as well. So whenever and wherever they are ready to stream, consumers are seeking content to serve different purposes. For today's presentation, I am only going to walk you through 2 of these intentions, mood and growth. So first up, mood. Streaming for emotional well-being. Because of the roller coaster of emotions consumers feel day to day since the pandemic, content choices are largely dictated by emotional bandwidth. We found that mood was the #1 factor influencing what respondents stream, which is almost 1.5 times more than factors like the time they have to watch or the type of genre they're interested in. Specifically, consumers are turning to streaming as a way to soothe their nerves. So when asked how their relationship with entertainment has changed since the start of the pandemic, Gen Z's and millennials' top response was, it has become a greater source of comfort. So some stream nostalgic shows and old favorites like The Fresh Prince, which is as like a low risk option with no surprise endings or unexpected twists, while many others turn to comedies like Hacks or Love Life as an instant mood booster. Regardless of what they watch, the choice is fueled by what viewers want the most, which is comfort. Next is growth, streaming for knowledge gains. Audiences are building personalized curriculums with what they watch. So 65% of Gen Zs and millennials prefer movies and shows that expand their knowledge on different topics. They're learning new history lessons or exploring new skills or escaping to remote corners of the planet. Whether it's a scripted series or a reality show competition, consumers are applying the skills learned from these storylines to their everyday lives, with a majority watching content to keep them fulfilled. For me, I'm obsessed with Selena and Chef. It hits on both of these intentions, mood and growth. It's a show that not only makes me laugh and doesn't take cooking so seriously, but it's also one that I learned some hot tips on cooking, like how to cut a red pepper quickly or how to fry plantains at home. So we know consumers are making decisions both big and small with intention, not just with the content they watch, but with all parts of their lives. And what we predict is that even as our lives get busier, we're spending more time at home, we will carry greater intentionality into the future. So less than half of consumers reported living thoughtfully pre-pandemic. However, as consumers look to the future, 64% predict they will be more intentional, which is a 36% increase from 2019. And for brands, this means that they need to be as intentional as their consumers. So time is precious, which means that brands must make a greater impact in less time. So traditional marketing notions of grabbing or winning consumer attention are falling out of favor for strategies that are more people positive, that build deeper connections with consumers who are more mindful than ever before. And brands need to deeply integrate into the lives of consumers and not be disruptive. So we've found that when audiences are fully immersed in entertainment, they favor brands that respect their time, create a cohesive experience, experiment with storytelling, and challenge convention. And we've built this framework here to look at the relationship between attention and intention when consumers are watching entertainment. You could see on the bottom left of this framework when both intention and attention is low. So when a consumer is intending to maybe boost their moods, brands should help consumers restore. So less is more in the minds of consumers. They're looking for a less cluttered ad experience. In fact, 65% agree that they think more favorably of a brand when it provides them with fewer commercial interruptions. On the other end of the spectrum, if you look up to the top right corner, when consumers are intention and attention is both high. So if a consumer is turning to entertainment for growth, brands should build with consumers. They want brands to be more than advertisers. They want them to be entertainers, informers, activists, and listeners. So I'll leave you with 3 key learnings from this research. The first is that our future is more focused. So the pandemic was a forced pause to our collective autopilot. And as we hit play on the world again, we aren't returning to that old normal because we have fundamentally changed, with some consumers even saying that our lives weren't normal before. With that, consumers don't want normal, they want better. And that's why they're looking at the future with intention, dedicating extra hours to self-care. And for many, self-care is entertainment. Our second learning is that home is where the stream is. We learned that what's on our screen matters, and entertainment can nourish and inspire and captivate us. It not only transports us, but it also transforms us. So when we stream alone, we feel comforted. When we stream with our loved ones, we feel connected. 63% of Gen Zs and millennials say streaming entertainment makes them feel less alone. No matter where we stream, we build a home in the safety of our entertainment. We feel a deep connection with the characters on screen, our fellow fans on our feeds, and the brands we love. So entertainment is really filling our basic need for connection. And finally, our last learning is inspiration is found on new pathways. So fans are unlocking new levels of immersion with the content they love. They're creating alternate versions of their favorite movie scenes and transforming their real life spaces to mirror their favorite on-screen entertainment. They're immersing themselves into narratives at every touch point, and they're super receptive to brands that meet them there. So 83% say they were inspired to shop by a show or movie on a streaming service. So entertainment is inspiring audiences to take real life action, and for brands to captivate these intentional and hyper engaged fans, they must be agile and omnipresent, ready to entertain on screen and off screen. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope these insights sparked something for you and helped you reframe how you think about consumers today. You can find the full white paper with all the intentions available for download on hbomax.com/advertising, where you can also find some of our recent work on fandoms and families. And if you have any questions, please send them through, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much.